What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Horizon episode 12, and this episode, I actually liked it a lot. So it starts off with them going into detail about the dungeons, and we learn that there are normally low-level monsters inside, but when it comes to the treasure that you can find, they are normally guarded by these high-level monsters like dragons. And so I thought, that right there was actually pretty cool. I do like how the anime definitely goes into detail about something at the beginning of the episode. But once we get into it, we are back at the ball. And we just see all these people, people of the land, they are dancing and having a good time. And so we learned that this song we were hearing, it was actually the theme of the game. And so the king or the lord, he was actually suggesting wanting them to go out there, and dance. And the guy of that merchant guild, he didn't want to do it. And Shiro was actually trying to get Krusty to do it, but Krusty wanted to talk more to the lord since he was their representative after all. So Shiro kind of got forced into it. And when he went out there, I was kind of hoping Akatsuki would go dance with him. Because we actually see at one point the Lord actually want her to do it, but she like teleports behind Shiro and hide. And I thought that right there was definitely really cute of her to do that. But when Shiro does go out there, he is joined by Hironette or Hironetta. And we actually learned that her class is the Bard. And that right there surprised me. I never thought that she would have a class like that. And then we actually go back to the training camp and Ichizu, I think that's her name. She is a bard as well, and we learned that these classes use like music and rhythm or sound, for attacking, and that right there, was pretty awesome. Now, when we see Hironetta teaching Shiro how to dance, and we just see all these like musical notes, coming out of them, floating around. That right there was beautiful. The animation, it was just so perfect and so beautiful. I definitely like that. That right there was probably my favorite part of the episode because the animation, it was just top notch. So I definitely enjoyed that part a lot. And so we see like all the people are just staring at them because they definitely are the center of attention right now because they were dancing pretty well. Like she was actually a pretty good teacher. And so we have Akatsuki, staring at them, and I'm pretty sure she got a little jealous at them. And we have these kids running around, and one of them bump into Akatsuki. Now these children were actually playing hide and seek, and they wanted her to join, and she actually does because she goes invisible. She like teleports away. Now I really wish that they would have did more detail into this, and actually actually show her playing with them if she did, because I thought that right there would be pretty cute. But for some reason I have this feeling that Akatsuki definitely does not look like this outside the game, but that's just me. I have a hard time believing that she's like Shiro age, and yes, she is so small like a child. Like maybe something happened in the game or what, but I definitely don't think that she looks like this in the real world. But after the dance was over, we had Minori contacting Shiro, and she was actually, kind of nervous about tomorrow. And it is kind of weird how they have all these little kids, kind of pursuing or liking these older males, because we have Shibara and Nayata, and we have Minori and Shiro, because I definitely feel like she is crushing on Shiro. And of course we have Akatsuki and Shiro, but I feel that one is alright because Akatsuki is they're the same age as them, so it is different. And so now the next day when they're going to this dungeon, when they were all introducing themselves, I only thought it was going to be the four of them. I didn't know that Shibara was also going to be part of their group, but of course I also want her to get better as well. But I do wonder if she'll ever leave Crescent Moon and join Horizon because she likes Nyansa so much. But when they were introducing themselves and we learned their levels, I was so surprised that Rundle House was actually putting down Minori so much when he was only 2 levels above her. And I do believe that when we first saw him, he was only level 20. So I think that he obviously got 3 level ups. And so when they actually go into the dungeon, I also forgot to point out that when Rundle House was trying to get everybody pumped up, he definitely sounded so familiar to me, and so I looked it up, and he actually done a few voices in animes that I have watched or I'm watching currently. But the most prominent one, which you all will like probably know, is that he also does the voice of Natsu in Fairy Tail. So when he said "Let's get fired up," that right there is what reminded me of something. So I had to look it up, and I found out that he actually is Natsu in Fairy Tail. So that right there is definitely pretty cool. And it was surprisingly weird to see that once him and Toya was so pumped up, they were actually acting all buddy-buddy. I really wasn't expecting that to happen because we saw before it was like they all weren't getting along. And then when he put down Minori, Toya actually, kind of got upset and he actually, called him out on that because he was hardly any higher than her. But I definitely feel like this group, it can work. And I'm hoping that, if Minori, if Sebara does not join Log Horizon, then Minori, will definitely get better so that her healing could take up for the both of them. But once they're in this dungeon, we have Runhouse showing off because he summoned these like fireballs for light. And then when Sebara tries to help, we actually see that his fireballs, become redder and hotter, like they look evil, because he thought that, they were trying to show him up. But he actually calmed down once they explained the situation to him. And so, like, to me, throughout this episode, I kind of felt like a little bad for Minori. Just because, like, she had wanted so hard to get a word in, but she couldn't because of them. And when she was trying to, help them out to make them a better group by having Roundhouse move to the back so that they'll have light everywhere and not just in front of them, because it was definitely possible for an enemy to like sneak up behind them, but he wouldn't listen. And I also forgot that like after the ball we have our round table, our group. They were like having breakfast or something, and they were talking about this conference that was happening, that it's gonna last for 10 days, which like really surprised me. But there are like these 24 noble families that are coming here, and then with the round table as well, that makes 25. And so then you have these two people of the land. I'm guessing they're like high ups. They were kind of freaking out actually, because they actually knew about these adventurers, and they actually kind of like wanted to go back to the old ways where they would just do anything that they wanted for money. So I do think it's possible that that these people of the land will actually get these adventurers quest again, because it's kind of obvious that they kind of want to do that because they actually fear them, but maybe they feel that if they try to do that, it could backfire on them. But I think that these two races of people, the adventurers and the people of the land, they will eventually come together on some kind of agreement. Because our roundhouse here, they were saying that they'll try to make them one of their own by giving them like a noble title to either Krusty, who I still can't believe has that name, or they'll just give it to everybody in a round table. But I'm definitely liking this whole plot and where this like storyline is going. But I do hope that we won't spend too much time with it. Because like the more I watch this, I noticed that the people of the land actually fear the adventurers. So I do feel like that there won't be a war really. But I do wonder, and where this war will go really. But back to our group in the dungeon. While they were walking around, Toya actually spotted these 3 skeletons, and I'm not gonna lie, they actually look pretty cool. They really do. And then we see Toya busting out these new moves, which look pretty badass actually. I definitely like his attacks. I do believe that the samurai class, like even though it has such a long cooldown for their attacks, I really do like it. And we also have Runhouse with his spells, which were also pretty cool, but they got a major buff thanks to Ichizu with her Bard class. So I feel that this group is working. They just need more teamwork, and I feel that Minori will step up eventually, and she kind of will take this leadership role, because she had all these notes from Shiro, so she just had to like be more confident and believe in herself. but we see that these guys' eagerness kind of got the best of them, because they were actually this archer who Minori was actually trying to warn Runnerhouse about, but you know, he was just so full of himself. But to me, when he actually, you know, caught that arrow, not only was it funny, but it was also impressive. Because of course, you know, it was by accident, but it was still very impressive. But of course, you know, that didn't last for long, because right when Toya was actually going to tank them, they could sense the aggressiveness of Runnerhouse, and so they went after him. But it's obvious that these guys took the harder route rather than the beginner one. I believe somebody said that the right side was for beginners and the left one was for like intermediate players. So they went down that route, while the other guys that had came in before them had went into the beginner route. But even though they are running right now, they are definitely gonna come back in there with hopefully better teamwork, and that way they can clear it. Because like I said, I definitely feel like this group can work. Now at the end, we have Krusty talking to one of the people that were actually freaking out, and he spots the princess, and you just see this like dark, this evil face, you know, appear. And I'm wondering, you know, did him and Shiro actually, you know, come up with like a plan to bring this princess onto their side, or maybe he could actually have his own plan, and it's possible that he could work behind their back. So I am wondering, like, what's he planning, you know, exactly do with the princess? Because I am very curious about that, because I actually do want to see more of the princess. But like I said, this episode, I definitely liked it a lot. But as always, guys, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. I would love to hear what you all thought about this episode. I know last week I was talking to a new sub of mine, and me and him were definitely, you know, going into a conversation about the episode. So hopefully we can do that again. And I am hoping to bring in more of you guys as well. But as always, guys, you all take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.